Hatchet's Wicked Show, Episode 5. I'm here with Justin Eldridge from Str8 Jacket Music. Also a
Str8 Jacket Records.
And you said that you were doing, that you used to be on Cell Block Psychos.
Yep.
So what was it like doing this, being in a major music group down in Hartford, Connecticut?
Well, we originally originated up around here. Is where we did a competition over at Club 550 one night. And it was me and Lawrence. It was the first time we ever performed, nervous as shit. And we're going in there and watching all these guys, and how they're all a bunch of guys that do like regular hip hop. They were like, "Oh man, we're gonna get killed. We're gonna get killed." We did this song that wasn't gangsta enough to make it in rap. And that was the best part about it, is everybody's reaction was like, "Wow, this dude's got it." We actually took second place, and we were competing against people from like New York, fucking like down south. They brought all kinds of people to get second place. Well, the dude that put it on said, "Hey, when you guys are done, I want to talk to you." Like, all right, this big old black dude. I mean, big fucking black dude. Turned out he was gay too. But whatever, you know. And he's like, "Hey, he's like, how would you guys like if you signed on a label?" And we're kind of like, I don't know. Let's find out. And a couple weeks later, he had us meet up over at the club again. And brings this fucking stack of shit. Bunch of paperwork for fucking signing, and it's like, "Well, man, we're not gonna sign right now." And I was like, "We just want to feel out the water, see how it works." And he's like, "All right." So he's like, "All right, I got the first idea for your music video." He goes, "You start at the club, and there's a line." And I was like, "Stop right there." So right there, I'm like, "It's not gonna work. It's not gonna work." Like it's, but yeah, that's pretty much how that label went for. Like it was bad. He just didn't know what to do with us and everything else. We did a show at Club 550 one night. Another night. You ever heard Cadaver?
Yeah.
Cadaver. Cadaver did that show with us. Dude's fucking dope. I love him.
Yeah, he was at the Twisted show. He opened up.
Yeah, he opened up for Twisted. I talk to him all the time on Facebook. Yeah, that's my boy, man. He's a good guy. He's a good guy. But yeah, that was back when this dude shows up in combat boots and fucking, he's got army outfit. That first thing I'm like, who the fuck is this guy? I'm like, you can just get out of the military, but that guy goes up and he spits, man, and it was just like, damn. But like nobody, like of course, it was him, and then Lawrence and I were doing the horrorcore. It was like two parts of the show. It was like the horrorcore part, and then there was like the bullshit hip hop part. And they had this dude, General Money, from like Manchester, and him and I didn't really like each other for a while because it's not my thing. But that shit was funny. Fucking that dude General Money ended up headlining the show, and we actually got more like fans to watch us than him. Like everybody left when everybody went to the smokers room at Club 550 when we went to the smokers room, and so he was pretty much out there performing by himself and nobody watching him. And I guess he tried to like congratulate me and everything. And I was just like, man, whatever. You had an attitude with me. I don't even want to talk to you.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I actually have a question about that.
Yeah.
Do you think that not so much the music anymore, because people bootleg music all the time, all the time. Even if whether it be underground or it be somebody like the Insane Clown Posse or whatever, music's bootleg. They're like, well, why pay for a CD? Why go download it on?
Right.
So, do you think that being more personal with the music artists and stuff would actually make them a little more loyal to download the music and then go out and buy the album when they have the money?
Possibly. Sometimes, it all depends. If you really show that you love your fan base, then they're possibly going to go out and buy a CD. Look at Psychopathic Records, man. Everybody, you go to a show, oh man, I bought this album, I got this album. That's nothing I want to get into too about the new Juggalo thing, collecting shit. Anyways, but yeah, if you show that you're loyal to your fans, they're gonna go out and buy your shit. It doesn't matter. As personally, how I feel it, if you want it and you need it, steal it. I don't give a fuck. Right now, Hodge and I, we're not really into making money at the moment. It's pretty much we're just trying to get our shit out. We're giving away the mixtape for free. The mixtape alone we could charge $15 because we got Cadaver on there. We have Jesus Christ, we have Lucius from Connecticut. Very, very good gift. Very good.
I heard Theron Reed was on it.
Theron Reed, I believe he did make the cut. I think. I'm not sure. I'll have to talk to Hodge again. We fucking update that shit because Hodge and I, we pretty much do our business through Facebook and text messaging right now because I'm in Connecticut and he's in Austin. So sometimes we'll go like a good week without talking, and everything gets all fucked up. You know, I'll say one thing to somebody, and that's the other person. Hodge will say something else to somebody else, you know, and it gets all fucked up.
Well, on some labels, you know, they're not actually like, for instance, let's say you and me were on Psychopathic Records, we were signed to them. We wouldn't actually have to be in Psychopathic Records, like we wouldn't have to be in Michigan. We could be outsourced from here.
Yep.
So we could still be signed to a label by being miles away. Do you find that to be a little more difficult, or?
It depends, you know, really. I personally, my thing is I like to be able to work one-on-one with my artists, and that's why it was good, because pretty much how Hodge and I got it is like, you know, actually next Saturday I might be signing another artist to Str8 Jacket Records. I'm gonna meet up with him Saturday, go over shit, but you know, he lives 15 minutes away from me, whereas, you know, Hodge got Joey, and Joey and Hodge live like, you know, half an hour away. You know, that's kind of how we wanted to keep it. We wanted to keep it in the New England area, you know. But you know, if somebody wanted to sign and say they're from Texas, you know, I got a dude that lives in Texas. I wish he would sign, but he won't. Lawrence Kearns, you know who we are. But fucking, you know, it's harder to work with them, but at the same time, it's easier because then you don't have to deal with the bullshit drama outside of music. Sometimes, you know. Sometimes just, you know,
go to a club and then you two get into a fist fight, and then, you know, you go to work the next day, he's got a black guy, he's in the studio, and you're like, I want to just go to that studio, whoop that dude's ass.
Right, you know. But yeah, it's communication is definitely the key to everything like that. You know, you have to communicate every fucking day if you have an artist like that, because otherwise, man, shit's gonna get fucked up. Dude's gonna drop a mixtape, give it, you know, give it away for free, and it's like, all right, man, you're under my label, you gotta ask me if you can give it away free. And like, my job is to be the asshole to tell you yes or no. You know, my thing is, let's say, you know, like Hodge and I agree, you know, artists has free with Str8 Jacket Records, all the artists have their own creativity. You know, they have free rights to their own creativity, what they want to do, whatever. The only certain things I will step in and be like, yeah, dude, you can't do that. Sorry, you know, if something. You know, because how, you know, horrorcore's fucked up as it is nowadays because of just, like, some of the dudes just go out there, you know, they fucking murder their fucking, you know, girlfriend, go and record a song about it, Psycho Sam, you know, and, you know, that shit's just fucked up, and then...
But that's in all sorts of music. I mean, look at John Lennon.
Yeah, John Lennon, yeah, sure.
You know, and that wasn't by any means horrorcore, but, you know, the guy said, you know, when they arrested him, you know, why'd you do it? He went and read Catcher in the Rye.
Oh, yeah, the dude that killed John Lennon.
Yeah, there was nothing in Catcher in the Rye, though, that said killed John Lennon.
Well, that's the thing, man. It was the way the government and everything works is if something new comes out, well, horrorcore is not really new, you know, it's been around for a long time, you know. But fucking something new like that starts getting popular, the government's gonna label it, you know, oh, this and that. You know, the dudes from Columbine, when they fucking shot up the school, who they blame? They blame Manson. Why the fuck you blame Manson?
Right.
You know?
And they actually found that they only listened to, like, some of the songs, and they found some of his lyrics mixed with some of theirs, I guess.
Yeah, right.
Or whatever, you know what I mean?
But you know, there's so many stories of Columbine. That was a fucked up story, you know. There was a third shooter, you know, It was just the fact that, oh, we don't know why they did it because they're different. That's why they did it, so guess what? We're going to blame.
But what was their cop-out for the elementary shooting? They didn't blame horrorcore, they blamed guns.
They blamed guns, of course, that's how it is.
Because there was no music to tack onto it, so they got to put the blame someplace else.
And the dude was autistic. First of all, you know, and his mom used to fucking, fucked him in the head, you know, fucked his head all up, and that's why he went and did that shit, you know, and then, you know, oh, you know, guns kill people. No, stupid motherfuckers with guns kill people.
Right.
That's how it works.
My friend just said this to me yesterday, Justin McGee. He says, it is easier to get a gun than it is to seek mental health.
It is true, yeah. I can go in Connecticut, take a walk, you know, a couple miles down the road, talk to a dude, grab a gun, go back. Go into a hospital. Say I go into a hospital, you know, I want to kill myself. They're going to keep you there for 10 hours, not say a fucking thing to you, leave you in a room with fucking, you can get into needles and all this shit, and not care. And then you could fucking kill yourself by the time they actually bring somebody in. Then they bring somebody in and they'll sit there and talk to you for like 20 minutes, like, oh, you know, I want to kill myself. And they're just like, why do you want to kill yourself? I'm like, because I want to fucking kill myself. And then, oh, well, you really don't want to kill yourself, leave. You know? It's like, what the fuck, man?
Right.
Yeah.
I, like, you know, when you look at the music and the politics of everything, when, you know, the government blames music and things like that, my take on it is bad publicity is better than no publicity. Yeah. Think about it. You know, when the whole thing happened with Psycho Sam, and Mars was all over the news saying, we're not like this. It's not our fans. Guarantee you, his albums went through the roof in sales.
But the one thing with Mars about that is what he should have done, and that's just say, is he should have just didn't go in character and do that. Because he went in character. He was wearing his mask, all that shit. When he went to CNN or something he was on, he shouldn't have done that. He should have just went in, took the mask off. Look, I'm a normal person. I don't fucking kill out and kill people,
Well, he actually stated why he wore the mask.
No. Oh, did he?
Yeah, he was wearing it because I'm not sure if you saw this documentary. It was a horrorcore documentary. It's like 20 minutes long.
Yeah.
And it was an underground music artist. I actually forget his name, but him and Mars had both received death threats.
Yeah.
And he wore his mask back then because when the whole Psycho Sam thing and the whole thing was turning into this whole thing, and there was religious groups. Similar to Westbury Mass Church.
Yeah, Westboro Baptist fucking idiot church.
Right.
Yeah.
It was groups like them that were saying, we want to kill you. Yeah. Ironic for a church to want to do something like that.
Jesus wants me to kill you. Fucking idiots.
More people kill in the name of God than for any other reason.
Right.
But, he was like, I wear this mask to, the guy even said, he goes, I wear this mask to hide my identity. He said, when I'm out in public with my family, I'm not a target. Because when they receive these deaths, like the guy was sitting there reading them, he's like, yeah, this guy threatened to slit my throat 10 times over. This person over here wanted to gut me. This person wanted to shoot me.
Yeah, and it's like, oh, I rap about this, but I got dudes sending this shit to me, telling me they want to kill me.
Right. And then, he was pretty much saying, how fucked up is the world when, I'm saying things like this, I want my music to be an outlet, but he can't go out there and put his face out on TV and risk his own life.
Right.
I mean, I can understand what you're saying, like, getting out of character. And if you actually look at some of his stage performances and things like that, he's actually let go of the Lecter mask. Like, look at the cover of Zodiac Mixtape.
Yeah, right.
He's not wearing the mask.
Yeah.
So I think that, he wasn't trying to go in character, to make more of a controversy. I think he was doing it.
See, when, that shit happened, I think they should have, I think ICP should have went on and did some shit, But the thing with Violent J, don't get me wrong,
Ooh, I like this part.
I always like ICP. I always love ICP. But Violent J is a fucking asshole. One. Two, obviously, the dude is kind of an idiot because he let somebody else run his label that he starts. Don't get me wrong, Billy Bill's a good guy, he does his thing, but I wouldn't let anybody else run my label that I start. I run my shit, even though, you don't want to dip your fucking hand in too much shit.
Right.
But, I think they should have went on and said, hey, look, we're the, right now, we're the bigger,
You're good.
shit. We're if not the biggest group of horrorcore right now, this is what we're talking about. But they were silent. Completely silent. They just said nothing. They no statements, nothing. And it's like, you know what? It's fucked up.
Well, how much do they care about their fans when they put out music? Here's my thing. And this was on the Hatchet Herald, and I posted a comment about this. On the Hatchet Herald, not for word, because I don't have, the papers on me or whatever. I wanted this to be, not scripted or anything. I want to go over things with you as is. So what he's pretty much on the Insane Clown Posse Facebook page, it was, Big Hoodoo's album released yesterday. Garbage. What are your guys' thoughts? And your thing will be put into the Hatchet Herald. Now my friend Fred Spezio, Boy Blue, from YouTube, his statement was put in there. These other people, and it was all, the CD was dope as fuck. This, and fuck was spelled F-U-K or F-U-Q.
Yeah.
And, it was just, short comments on how great the CD was. How much do you care about your fans' opinions when you're not even putting out just one negative thought? Mm-hmm. And the first thing I saw when every time I click on the Hoodoo thing to go and see what's up, it's always the first thing I see is something negative. Yeah. But all they did was post short, positive things with horrible grammar and horrible spelling onto the Hatchet Herald, and I'm like, we're being accused of being a gang by the FBI. Wouldn't you like somebody out there to have an intelligent, whether they agree or not, an intelligent thing to
and that's another thing. That's another thing Psychopathic Records is doing. They're making money after that now.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
They're like, oh, look, we're gang members now. Let's sell a T-shirt that says I'm not a gang member for fucking $30.
What was that?
They should have gave that shit out for free.
Yeah,
in my opinion. They should have gave it out for free.
But there's no money in it. And Shaggy Two Dope, even after I went and saw him at the Mighty Death Pop show, Shaggy Two Dope went on a radio show, and he was like, we don't make any money off of our CDs.
That's bullshit.
He's like, we make no money on our albums, everyone's downloading, and, the only way we make money is merchandise. I'm like, well, let me think here. I can vouch for this. I spent $55 on Mars Attacks, the CD,
Yeah.
Mars Attacks, $55 on that.
Yeah.
The 3 Bang Pow Boom albums, and the 3 Mighty Death Pop albums, like together was like $30, something like that. You save $10, whatever. I wouldn't even put money toward. I bought the Bang Pow Boom CDs. I regretted it. I gave them out to friends.
Garbage.
And then, Mighty Death Pop, I didn't even buy. I heard the leaks, and I'm like, if I like it, I'll buy it, and that's proof. Like, who's going to say I'm going to spend $55 on a CD when I've got all the songs already?
Yeah. That's one thing about Psychopathic Records, man. Back in the '90s, back in the glory days, the original six, man. That's when that's where it was at, you know. But like after the six came out, man, it was like, you know what? We already carried our fan base. We don't have to try so hard anymore. It feels that way to me. And it's like, you know, it's even when they perform now, they don't. Well, one, they don't allow us on stage anymore. You know, I can kind of see why. It's kind of dangerous.
Well, there was VIP like at the Mighty Death Pop.
But you gotta pay for that shit, man. If you love your fans, you let them come out back for free.
Dropkick Murphys.
Yep. I would do the same shit. You know, when we performed the Cell Block Psychos, no matter where we were, it was last song, everybody up here in the spotlight with us, because you know what? If it wasn't for you, we wouldn't be here. And it was just like that. I didn't give a fuck. That's how it was. You know, a lot of people were kind of like, oh, I'm not letting us on stage. You know, they wouldn't come up. But, you know, we get people up there dancing, you know, doing crazy shit, you know. And I don't understand it, man. It's just, it seems like Psychopathic Records, all they care about is just generating more money now. You know, which is, it's just fine. And I don't get me wrong. They're in a business. They say that, you know, I'll tell you, you know, running a record company, you know, you say, yeah, I love my fan base. But you're also in a business to make money.
Exactly.
You know, you gotta feed your kids and shit like that. But they're millionaires now. They can fucking retire tomorrow and live comfortably for the rest of their life and not have one more dime made. But and that's the thing, you know, it just seems like all Psychopathic cares about now is money. Let's make more money. Let's charge our shirts $25. You know, next year they're probably gonna charge $30 for a shirt. You know?
And then Big Hoodoo's album comes out, and they just happen to put out a 44% off discount, hoping that people buy. And that's the thing too. Like I said, if they cared about their fans, they would have put up also the negative things about Big Hoodoo, and they would have been like, all right, look, listen, this is, you know. Instead, they used the Hatchet Herald to advertise so people would go and buy that album. Crystal Skulls, because they want that income. They want, because Big Hoodoo was like, you know, obviously before he was Big Hoodoo, he was all right, I guess, from what I hear. I don't know. I never listened to his old stuff.
When he was it Joey something? I can't remember what they called him. But yeah, I heard some of his shit was all right, but you go into Psychopathic. One, you lose your character that you started with that made you. Two, you go with what Violent J says you're gonna do. And you know, three, it's whatever, you know. But it's like I honestly gave Big Hoodoo's a chance. I watched both videos. I watched the first one and I was like, you know, I can't really come to a conclusion until I watched the second video. I have to hear at least 2 songs. I watched the second video. It's like, yeah, man, it's a good story what you're telling, but it's trash, man. You know, you got no flow. You're slowest. You know, you sound like you're bored. You know, don't give you know, you got a record deal, man. Be happy, man. Well, you know, don't get me wrong. The last song is a sad song. You know, it's maybe a true story, but you know, 95% of the time,
it's usually for a gimmick. And what they're hoping is that, like I said, CDs don't sell. So like, you know, we'll put out Crystal Skulls with this really cool album cover and a really cool, you know, lyrics things and put
the T-shirt in there, and hopefully somebody will buy it.
And then, you know, that'll be able to generate merchandise, so he doesn't have to make a CD for another year. They can just go off the merchandise with Crystal Skulls.
See, the money that they gained back because how they're paying Twisted before Twisted left, they should have took that, got rid of the Axe Murder Boys. I don't like the Axe Murder Boys.
They're gone. They haven't been on Psychopathic.
Good. Garbage. They cheated to get there anyways. And
to go further on that, actually, if you don't mind.
At the gathering, how it used to be is you at the competition they used to have to get signed. You have a 1-year contract and your own distribution deal, whatever. They'd have like 4 or 5 different groups, whatever, perform in front of people. Well, they gave each letter low out the thing a coin, and they put a box, and you which one you vote for. You put the coin in the box. Well, Axe Murder Boy had their people out there buying coins from people, so they could dump it in Axe Murder Boy's fucking box, and they cheated to get on the label. I heard there was people that were performing that were 100 times better than them, but they cheated to get on, and they got the record deal, and obviously they didn't last very long. The first time they didn't last very long at all. I bought Blood In, Blood Out Because I was like, I'll give it a chance, and I listened to it. I'm like, man, it's like a fucking boy band. You know, they watching you with red eyes. I'm like, the fuck, man? Really? Alright, you know, I was like, okay, next song. Sorry, this one's a little better. Another one. And then if you listen to them, they don't tell a story at all. And that's one thing with horrorcore is you want to tell a story. You know, you don't want to just go on there, kill, 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 murder, murder, murder. No, tell a fucking story, man. Make it interesting. Make the people want to listen to you again. Tell a whole fucking story from the beginning of your album to the end. Those guys, this song, one thing. This song, another thing. This song, this thing. This other thing. It's just all different. It was jumbled. It was just put together very poorly. And I just never been a big fan of Axe Murder Boys.
Well, other than Axe Murder Boys who left, Dayton Family gone. Zug Island, I guess, came back, but
it's too bad. Dayton Fam. I actually kind of like Dayton Fam. You know, I saw them live back during the Bang Bang Boom tour, and I was pretty impressed. You know, back when Head PE and Dayton Fam. I love Head PE. Those dudes are fucking insane. I like seeing. It was funny as how I went to Worcester to watch it, and it was funny as how because the lead singer of Head PE. His name's can't remember what his name is, but there's a bunch of people up in the upper decks. And he like stops the music and he's like, "Fuck all you motherfuckers up there." He's like, "These guys are the shit." And I was just like, "Oh yeah, man." I was like, we're all like, "Fuck you!" The people up in the rafters because a bunch of pussies can't sit in the pit, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was pretty good. But yeah, it was too bad. It's too bad Dave Fan's gone because they got it. It's just that you know, nothing against black people and everything, but it just seems that when a black artist gets signed to Psychopathic, they don't do well. You know, I honestly, they should have signed ROC. They should have. ROC is fucking dope, but they didn't sign.
Why do you think they didn't sign anybody like, anyone like Necro or King Gordy or why? Like,
Necro? Well, they probably wouldn't sign Necro because Necro's garbage. But
wow.
And I don't like Necro. I don't like him as a person. I like his older music. Him on Facebook just pissed me off. Constantly, like, putting down his fans. You know, I'm gonna fuck some fat bitch in the ass. And I was like, dude, who gives a fuck? Really? Do you think I want to scroll down through my shit and see your stupid stuff, man? No. Actually, no, I can't stand that girl. But, like, yeah, King Gordy, well, he don't do horrorcore anymore.
Yeah.
A life-changing issue, whatever. It's cool.
You got shot, I guess, and that kind of...
I guess that will change, I guess. I don't know. It's too bad. And then, like I say, low-key saying he's now the king of horrorcore. He's got a whole lot of fucking shoes to fill. He's trying to get in King Gordy's spot. Thinking that low-key's good, but he's not that good. But, he'd probably get mad at me now. Whatever. I'm honest. But, yeah, it was too bad, King Gordy. But, yeah, probably the reason why they don't sign him is because, like, King Gordy does his own, he's done his own thing for years, him and Bizarre. They've done their own thing, and it's probably it would be too much for Psychopathic to handle because, King Gordy is, he's up there with ICP. He's been around just as long as they have, And if you ever notice, anybody that Psychopathic usually signs is somebody that's newer than them, except for Esham, when they signed Esham.
Well, if you look at Big Hoodoo's page, it said joined in 2013. You'd think they had made it like a little more professional and things like that, but it shows that, whoever Big Hoodoo was before he was Big Hoodoo, they didn't want that. They were like, here, we're going to write this gimmick for you.
Boondocks was turncoat dirty. Completely, that gone. Completely gone. Even when he left, he was still Boondocks. And with Cousin Cletus. Cousin Cletus. He was with his hype man. He turncoat dirty. Gone. He actually got signed because he was walking through a crowd and handing out CDs, and Violent J got a hold of one of the CDs. Fucking called him up, man. Hey, I want to sign you. Like, Boondocks has got it. That dude's got flow for days.
Right.
That's one thing I like about him is the dude. He's not like most horrorcore artists. They're like, trying to sound like a fucking death metal band. Which is alright. Some guys do it. It's cool and it sounds good. But other guys do it. And it's just like, dude, you taking a shit.
Well, what are the key components do you think in getting signed and being horrorcore? Because there's, like I told Joe, there's Des Luca. You've got Low-Key, you've got all these, some of them are signed, some of them are unsigned, some of them are on labels that are starting up. Yeah. Do horrorcore music artists, does it make a difference if they're signed to their own label, create their own label, or if they're signed to one? Because when you're signed to a major label, 9 times out of 10, you get your sign-on money, and that's it.
Sometimes, you know, if you sign to a major record label, you get your sign-on money, which would be like, you know, a couple $100,000, and then fucking you have no creative, you have no creative over your own character or anything, and they pretty much just take you down, build you up as a label machine created, and it's bullshit. But like, you know, the best thing to start out with is just do your own thing, man. You know, don't start music and say, hey, I want to be signed to Psychopathic right away, because it's not gonna happen. You know, it takes years of practice, it takes years of doing it and everything to actually be able to achieve to a level to get people to like you. You know, it took, on and off, I rapped all around for 13 years. I've done horrorcore for 9. And, you know, it took me a long time to finally get it right. You know, I get on there and just, like, talk. And I thought that was dope. But, you know, I met a dude, Jay Sellers. Remember Jay Sellers from school?
I think
Jay
so.
Sellers is one of the best all-around rappers I've ever heard, ever. The guy, he's amazing. Took me under his wing, fucking showed me the ropes, and here I am now, you know? Showed me everything I know. Thank you, Crazy Jay. You know, he does a little bit of mainstream. He's underground. He's like Tech 9, what he does, but he's gonna be on the mixtape. I extended my arm out. Hey man, I'll help you out. You help me out. I want to help you.
And that's business too. I mean, that's not even just with a friendship, and that's what also creates, I believe, a friendship and a business and business and friendship.
Yeah, I've created some pretty good friendships through the business. You know, let's see, Kate Abbott, you know, him and I met in business, and we were cool, you know. And Hodge and I actually met through just talking about the business, you know. And one night I was talking to him like, hey man, you know, because he ran Hodge's underground music video archive. Like, you know, you get a lot of people that come through. I was like, you should start your own label and everything. And he's like, I don't know anything about, you know, doing that. I was like, well, I don't really know how to run one, but I know a lot about the music. You know, it's like, and he's like, well, whatever, you know, I think he kind of shrugged it off. Like 3 days later, he's like, hey man, let's do this. You know, let's start it up. He's like, what are we gonna call this? And he's like, I don't know. We were trying to figure it out. And one day he's like, how about Str8 Jacket Records? He's like, do you want a straight or like straight with an 8? I'm like, straight with an 8, dude, that's different. That's something different. Let's go with that. And fucking, it's pretty much the history there. We started up, I think, April. Started up in April. Fucking Horrorcore Magazine shared one of our posts on Facebook.
Yeah, I saw that.
That was fucking crazy, man. I was like calling up Hodge, yo, fucking Horrorcore Magazine just shared our shit, man. He's like, no. I'm like, no, really? He's like, wow, that's pretty cool, man. You know, that shows that they stepped down from their level to check out local people, which is cool, you know?
Well, Horrorcore Magazine, you know, they'll actually, you know, communicate with you on their streams. Like, you know, you've got Sin, you've got Kirk, and
yep.
they're great guys. I've talked with Kirk a little bit.
Yep.
Sin's a cool dude. I've spoken with him. You know, that's how I feel about Horrorcore Magazine is, you know, they'll offer slots. You know, if there's something they need for an advertisement or you need an advertisement, they're willing to work with you.
Yeah.
And that's what I feel like, where I feel the underground blossoms the most and where it really shines is when, you know, music artists work together.
Right.
You can go to someone else's label, do a collaboration with them. You know, just like with it being underground and with it being rap music, it's nothing like, you know, punk rock where, you know, which I find to be very interesting. You look at Psychopathic Records, and we're always paying attention to who's on it, who's not.
Mm-hmm.
But we don't do that with Dropkick Murphys, Flogging Molly, Gangrene, you know, Flipper back in the day. You know, none of those bands, you know, even fucking Green Day, no one gave a shit what label they were on.
That's because punk rock has always just been, I'm over this one now, I'm on this one now, I'm on this one, because not too many labels wanted to keep them. They'd sign them for a year, drop them, go to another label, sign them for a year, drop them, sign them, and you know, next thing you know, they've been with fucking 17 labels, you know, 5 years later. You know, that's how it kind of works.
And no one pays attention to, you know, like they were on, I think it was like Dark Castle, and they were, you know, before that they were on like Hellcat and you know, a few others.
I think now they're doing their own thing now.
Yeah.
That's what they're doing, yeah.
But, you know, like I said, the Dropkick Murphys, you know, they can have people sing on stage with them. No problem. They've never had to shut down a show because of it. You know, I feel that the Dropkick Murphys are a perfect example of what music and musicians should be like. You know, they don't care. Like, you know, you jump up on stage with them, the whole stage could be full. Yep. And even some of the fans will help, you know, people get up on stage. But when you look at what happens at the Palladium, you look at see what happens at ICP shows, people will tear your head off to get to that front barricade just so they can see these guys. And someone told me it was because of the clown face paint. You mean to tell me face paint has something to do with this?
Those security guards, man, they're funny as hell. They're jokes over, especially in Worcester, man. That fucking guy, I was standing right there in front. He's pretty, you know, I'm a pretty big dude, and he was kind of small. And I was like, I'm gonna go up there on stage. He's like, no, you're not. I'm like, you gonna stop me? And he's kind of stepping aside. I didn't even go on stage. I was just fucking with him, but he stepped off to the side real quick. Lawrence, man, he was fucking crowd surfing. I'm too big for crowd surfing. Fuck that. Lawrence, he's a small guy. He starts with the back, makes it all the way in the front. It was funny as hell. He was Violent J. Lawrence is holding out his arm like this. Violent J goes. And that's one thing I noticed too, because I was like, it was funny, but that was shitty of him to do that. And it's like, it's not like, oh, you worried about getting a cold, man, you got fucking gloves on. But like, that was kind of the downfall with ICP for me right there. That one moment when Lawrence has been dying. Lawrence is 30 years old. Fucking died hard juggalo. First juggalo I ever met outside of school. I met him at Walmart. I worked at Walmart when I was wearing a Hell's Pit shirt, and he's like, "You juggle?" I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "Whoop whoop, me too." And I'm like, "Oh no shit." And we've been fucking pretty much inseparable ever since. But like that was the moment when I was just like, "You don't care about your fans as much as
like
you."
Even the Dropkick Murphys, like people can stage surf, jump up onto the stage even when they're not doing skinhead on the MBTA. And Al Barr and Ken Casey will take a quick glance, go back to their music and shit, and they'll let him dive off the stage and shit. There's more freedom at a Dropkick Murphy show, at an ICP show, and things like that. Like I can understand Twisted not being in with the fans all that much in Nashua, considering there was no fucking barricade.
Right. Yeah.
It was a piece of yellow tape.
Yeah. But you also got to remember too, like when you're doing shows, man, people can be dangerous.
Oh, absolutely.
Some dude could just. Have a hair across his ass and somehow get a knife into the thing and fucking stab you. Look at Dimebag Darrell. Look what happened to him.
Yep.
Got fucking shot.
It was a Marine.
Yeah, got shot. Okay? You're gonna be that. That's probably one reason why they're, because, yeah, sure, you love your fans, but you also gotta fear them too.
Yeah, exactly.
You never know when that one dude just snaps.
You ever have anything like that happen at one of your shows?
No, not really. Never had anything really bad happen on any of our shows. Pretty much people just come on stage, fucking hug us. Whatever, it's cool, but fucking, no, nothing like that. Probably, there's a couple times you sit there and you just look down and you look at the people and you're just like, yeah, that dude is staring at me and I think he wants to kill me. It's like, scary. No,
right.
But no,
but shit like that could possibly happen.
It's possible.
Especially when someone would pay. I get to pay $15, and there's this music artist who I cannot stand, or who, saying about killing my son, shooting up schools, and, my son died in this school shooting. Mm-hmm. They're going to go out, put it on him. You mean tell me they didn't try and sneak a gun or a weapon in there as best as they could, especially if it's a little old lady? Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, you see like a bunch of people out at these shows, and, they wouldn't mind paying $35 if it meant they got to shoot you in the face if they disliked your music that much, especially with the distaste for horror music. My grandmother, all I'm doing is merchandise. I'm not even really doing music. I did a couple of verses with Joe. I don't mind doing a couple of collaborations. I don't even charge for it because it's not a profession of mine. Yeah. But I try and help out other music artists, and if that helps out, having somebody as a collab, that's cool. My grandmother, she found out about my merchandise I was doing. She found out about the name of my business, Hatchet's Wicked Shack, and she was like, I want nothing to do with you.
Sean, yeah.
And I was like, wow, my grandmother, my father doesn't care. Like, he wants me to make it rich. So
my mother, man, my mother and father were my biggest fans when I did music. Man, when I did a show at Club 550 one night, man, they were right there in the crowd, right with everybody else, fucking going crazy. It was awesome, My father was kind of going blind from diabetes, but he could hear the music. And I got done. I'm like, how you like that, Dad? He's like, I'm proud of you. Proud of you. My mom fucking came up on stage and was dancing with everybody. I called everybody up on stage. We had my mom. There's actually a video somewhere online. I found it. You can see like my mom and everybody. Me fucking day. You got Kid Aver and his hype man up on stage.
That's
all
dope.
Fucking dancing around. It was awesome, man. It was awesome. It was a good night. Fucking, I was drunk as fuck. Back when I drank all the time.
So what gave you the idea to ICP? I guess their whole big thing with not letting their fans in, and Violent J even states this in his book. They'd go down and they'd mingle with their fans and stuff like that, and they'd go and talk with them. No one's going to take them seriously if they do that. They got to act like the show business. They got to act, you should go back. You should have your own security. You should go back and not be around anybody. If they want to pay to see you, they got to pay to see you. And at first I thought that's a genius idea. Yeah. At first glance I was like, absolutely. But then I was like, wait a second. Kung Fu Vampire? Mars? I didn't get a chance to meet Mars, but I did get to meet Kung Fu Vampire. Twice. Once in Chico, California, and once at the Palladium. And it was funny, Heather and I got separated. Yeah. And I came up, was looking for it, and, I'm like, okay, if I stand still, we'll find each other. If we just keep running around, we're not going to find each other. Yeah. And Kung Fu's just leaned over the rail. I'm like, what's up, dude? And then I saw Heather, like, I'll talk to you here in a minute. I'm going to go see Heather real quick. So I went over and talked with Heather, and I was like, yeah, I was just talking with Kung Fu for a little while. So at the end of the show, I was like, he did that whole speech about the FBI. He's like, you guys are still here and things like that. We've gone through all this, controversy and things like that. We've been looked down on. But I honestly, what got my attention is the fact that Kung Fu Vampire was like, we're willing to work. We're willing to, earn our place. And I was like, that's bullshit. I honestly do not think that Kung Fu Vampire owes anybody anything. I don't think he should have to earn the respect, especially of today's juggalos, which I want to get into it.
The fam kids, huh?
So, well, not even just the fan kids, but like when I called children, get this, I quote, I did a video on this, so I'm going to quote this again. Yeah. Am I a fake if I mix Faygo with another drink? No. This is what somebody asked, though. You know what I mean? Like you mix Faygo, and that's what's going to make you a fake juggalo?
No, man.
You see what I'm saying? But people are asking these things.
Where is that even relevant,
Exactly.
It's like these kids nowadays, man, they have to live like the hardcore. It's like, man, it's not like that, man.
You got to drink the Faygo straight. You can't do this. You got to wear your hat a certain way. You got to wear a certain amount of merchandise now.
And I've been down with ICP, I've been down with psychopathic and shit since as far back as I can remember. I can remember, like, my brother. My brother had the Carnival of Carnage, like, tape. I can remember listening to that. I was like 8 years old. Listening to that shit. Obviously, shouldn't have been listening to it.
Right.
I remember listening to that shit, and I was completely shocked the first time I heard it. Like, I was just like, wow, that's different. And then I loved it. I was like, man, this shit's awesome, And fucking, and like nowadays, man, you get these kids. I like to call myself an OJ, an old juggalo, because it's funny because I'll go to a show and it's just like, man, I am one of the oldest motherfuckers here. Once in a while you'll get a dude that's like 45, 50, wearing a big old fucking the old-fashioned leather fucking psychopathic jacket, and it's just like, what up, dude? Down. You've been down for a long ass time.
There's a bunch of young kids too. And it's funny because I got into music when I was 13, which I honestly think was chance, because when you're 13 years old and you're listening to music, that 9 times out of 10, according to statistics or whatever. And psychology, that's the music you're going to listen to. That's the music you're going to go and find things like, because it's developing your brain or whatever. But I just read this thing on What the Fuck Facts. Apparently, with music, it takes the same thing as a reward system.
Yeah. So
it also releases dopamine. That chill you get down your spine when you listen to music is actually dopamine. Yeah. So it's an adrenaline rush.
Just like if I hear Tupac Shakur. I grew up listening to Tupac. One of these, if not the greatest lyricist that ever lived. He was mainstream, but he was underground at the same time.
Right.
It was like that. Always get goosebumps listening to that dude. Always getting the chills, because the guy had some really, sometimes he had, like hit him up, we did hit him up, diss him up, Biggie, That was kind of, it was kind of shitty of him because, Biggie never did anything back. But, other songs, Dear Mama. It's a good story, man. That he's telling truth. Keep your head up. Changes. Really good stories, man. And a lot of people in the fucking government, FBI, they have files. They have files on you. If you go to the Freedom of Information Act, you can actually get files on Tupac, and it's like 500 pages long.
Damn.
Oh yeah, they kept a file on Tupac, so it's like, and then when they're like, oh, FBI is labeling us juggalos, as gang members, and I'm like, well, Tupac was doing this shit back in '95,
right?
And I honestly, I still think that. Yeah.
Well, ICP came out, and it was funny because when I heard this, this is the first time this has ever happened to us, and I was like, pretty sure if it had to have happened before this,
FBI's probably had this file for years. They probably really have, because if somebody gets a die-hard fan following, apparently out in California there are gangs that are juggalos, and they're holding their own with the M16s. That's a Mexican gang that will cut your fucking head off with a machete. I've read it online. They actually are holding their own in a turf war in California right now, and it's people like that are fucking up the rest of us. And most of them they don't even listen to ICP. They don't even listen to psychopathic. They just use the symbol. And it's a symbol, and they use it. And nowadays, man, this is a symbol of fear. I wear this shit. In Connecticut, I've worn this shit out, and people have avoided me on purpose, and I've seen it. They're like, oh, he's a big dude with a psychopathic, with a Hatchet Man on his chest. He's got a Hatchet Man shirt, man. I'm like, it's gotten to the point where, like, if I'm going out, my girlfriend will be like, can you change that shirt, please? And out of respect for her, I'll change it because we're going out with the kids and whatever, and you got
some person could walk up and shoot you for having that symbol because you're a gang member.
Yeah. Yep. And
you're putting your family in danger wearing something like that. I can understand.
And then you got Juggalo Holocaust saying they're beating up juggalos, randomly, and it's like they'll have like 7 or 8 kids just come up and jump you.
Well, the Juggalo Holocaust, that's a different branch of it. The Juggalo Holocaust website was actually meant for, I guess, trolling.
It's some of the I've gone on and watched like some of the shit they got. I just laughed at it because it's like, really, guys, why do you care?
Like, look at the Rip Van Winkle thing. I'm not sure if you watched that episode.
I didn't watch the episode, but I've read some of his. He is good at trolling.
Yeah, he's funny too. Like he was like, Juggalos caused the 1945 bombing of this ship. I was like, cool. But
I think he's funny. I think Rip Van Winkle, man, you got it, man. You're funny as hell.
And we did a video for him too, which I thought was interesting because Steve was like, we should do a Rip Van Winkle special.
Did he ever respond to you or anything?
He did. He was like, I can't believe you guys actually said this. I thought you guys were gonna dog on me and shit.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm glad that you guys understand that I'm trolling. Dude, his Facebook page gone. His fucking YouTube page, I can't even get to it. Like, I have not seen him on YouTube or Facebook at all.
I came across his Facebook a couple months ago, and it's open, so I was checking it out and reading some of the shit he puts on. Because he also trolls. I think he also trolls like religious shit too.
Yeah, he does.
And I'm not religious at all. I'm straight atheist, and I love pissing people off that's religious. And I'm looking at that shit. I'm just like, oh man, that is great. He's got trolling on like this one dude's website constantly. It was great. That was great. I almost thought about trolling people for a while because I've always been good at pissing people off. And I was like, no. And I was like, not my thing.
My whole thing is that people confuse trolling with memes.
Yeah.
And I don't like either of those terms for whatever reason. It must be the...
Well, trolling, I know that shit all started on 4chan. That and fucking memes. Memes originated from 4chan, where actually that's also where, what's it called? Anonymous. I love those guys. Love those guys. Give us some more information about the government.
I was in Oakland for the general strike when they took down the Marine.
Yeah. When
the cops took them down or whatever, they gave the whole city to us.
Yeah.
And then 11 o'clock at night, I was hit by a flashbang and tear gas in my tent. Yeah, I thought that was kind of fun.
Gotta love the government, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, it was some of the protesters. Like, they went and lit shit on fire just because they wanted to be rebellious, but they had no idea that symbolizes a riot. Yeah. Because as soon as you light something on fire, that's a sign of like an act of rioting.
Well, I've actually now I can do it now. I've been wanting to get Anonymous to challenge them to do one thing. Hack into the real secret shit the government has and release it. Not this shit about them. Yeah, sure, we know the soldiers fucking kill people randomly sometimes out or overseas. This shit. Get the real shit the government doesn't want us to know. Get all that shit. What's in Area 51? I'm sure there's something on a computer, man.
My friend who's actually a soldier.
Yeah.
He's actually going in for another 6 years. Rory Sullivan.
Rory, if you ever watch this. I know. Yeah.
He did a song, and for the recording, like, how some people, like, have you heard the song, End of Days?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, like, when it's that guy talking.
Yeah.
In the beginning, it's like a senator or congressman, somebody from Canada, and he was like, release the information on the UFOs. Yeah. We know you have the information on the UFOs. Right. We should have that released for the public to read. And then at the very end, he says if they don't read it, and like, it's like a form of like, treason your own people and stuff. Like, I was like, holy shit. Yeah. For a Canadian politician to come out and say, I'm demanding this.
That's one thing I've always believed in that shit. I had an experience when I was younger. And since then, man, I did a lot of research when I was a kid and shit like that. And my girlfriend's huge into this shit. Fuck the NWO and all that shit. She's actually got a tattoo on her arm that says anti-NWO and New World Order. Fuck the Freemasons, all that shit.
Damn.
Yeah, man. Fucking my sister's boyfriend was a Freemason one time, and I read it. I found out some information about their initiation, like naked or some shit. And I told my sister. My sister told him. Big fucking old trucker. Big fucking beard. Looks like Santa Claus. Comes up to me. How do you know about the initiation ritual? What's the matter, man? What do you got to hide? What is there to hide? Huh? Him and I got a big fucking argument. We don't know nothing to hide, dude. I'm like, why are you so fucking secretive? We invite people in. I'm like, yeah, you invite people into the lobby. You don't invite people into the back room. tell you what really goes on in there. I'm like, you guys are doing some devil worship or some shit, man. Wearing black robes, they use a sword like they pretend to hit them with this. You know, you don't if you're using science and God, as they say, why are you wearing a black robe? Black robe is the sign of a druid. Druid is, originated from like worshiping the dark, you know. Nowadays considered Satanism.
Everything's considered Satanism.
Well,
though.
you look at the
But the term Satanist actually comes from the term Satan, which is actually, Satan, Lucifer. It's about self-worshipping.
And then the name Satan was actually completely made up. Because they don't actually, in the Bible, they actually don't even say his name. I don't even think they even say Lucifer.
They call him the Beast.
They call him the Beast. And people, Westerners.
Lucifer was the angel.
And I remember going to church when I was a kid, and they were like, yeah, Lucifer was shot out of heaven because he didn't want to kill humans. And he didn't feel that he thought that God or something thought it was, I don't remember what it was, but like he hated the fact that they chose men over, he chose men over angels.
What I heard was he loved God more than he loved humans.
Yeah.
And because of his loyalty to God, he got sent to hell. I was kind of like,
so you love your father more than you love your stepbrother. Get the fuck out of here. Get out of my house. You don't love your stepbrother. Fuck you, man. If anything, he had it right, man. He loved his father. That was it. But fucking Jesus Christ, religion, man. Oh, I got a headache now.
Yeah, no, I with religion, I what?
You smoking?
No, I was gonna go outside and have a cigarette with you here in a minute.
All right, cool. Yeah.
But I did want to ask something before we take a short break.
Uh-huh.
The music label, religion, and these things, like, what about these Christian horrorcore music artists?
Like ICP?
Yeah, they say they're not Christian.
They said they do it for God.
Because believing God doesn't mean you're
you
Christian.
realize how many juggalos that I knew just completely dropped everything when they heard that song? Like, we're like, I'm done. I'm not down anymore. And I was just like, it's all right song. Whatever. It's a song, man. We do it for God. He's always been behind you. Sure, he's been behind you when you were swinging a hatchet. Yeah. I don't know where you're going with that. But you didn't go anywhere after that.
They flipped it with the wicked shit.
Yeah.
And But
I can understand, Shangri-La, the race Shangri-La was, the good, what can happen if you're good. And the Hell's Pit, which is a much better album, actually was probably the last great album they ever did.
I loved Hell's Pit.
That's probably, honestly, between that and Riddlebox, is probably my greatest two favorite albums. And Great Malenko, always loved Malenko. But, yeah, it was good and bad, whatever. And a lot of people didn't realize it. Like, and this is heaven, this is hell. That's what they're trying to tell you. If you're good, you go to heaven. You go to hell, you go to Hell's Pit. And like a lot of people did. Like at first, I was like, the last Joker card, world's gonna end.
Well, I heard a rumor that they were going to off themselves.
Really?
Yeah, they were supposed to off themselves after the 6th album dropped.
I never heard that one, but that's funny.
It was from people when I was living in Saginaw. I was 18 years old.
Yeah.
It was a family who actually were into that shit.
Yeah.
Like I met this girl through a juggalette thing or whatever. She was just down the street from me in Saginaw, and I went down to go and see her, and she was like, it's kid music or whatever. People gave me shit for it. It's kid shit. But when I was into it, it wasn't. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Tempest had come out, and I wasn't a fan, but I still loved Riddlebox. I still loved Malenko. Yeah. And then Bang Pow Boom came out in 2009 after I dropped out of college and everything. I was like, I want to get these albums. Yep. I want to check this out. It's going to be 3 different things, hidden tracks. I love it. I'm going to get it. I listened to it and I was like, next one. I'll give it another chance. And then Mighty Death Pop just did not deliver. And I listened, like I said, to downloads, and I spent $55 on a CD that I've already got all the songs for. Yeah. And I was like, I want to have the albums. I love collecting albums. I love collecting things like especially CDs.
Yeah.
But I've also, my collection of anything is like very minuscule. Like I don't have posters and things like that. I went to the library and printed off pictures and put them on my wall.
Yeah.
You know?
I lost all my CDs years ago. I lost everything. I had all the Joker cards and shit, and I lost them.
I had all the major ABK real albums, and it got stolen. It got stolen from me in Southern California, actually, with my laptop. But we're gonna take a quick break here, guys.